Hello everybody, my name is Lukas and I'm Android malware and security researcher at ESET. Today I would like to share with you our research about vulnerabilities discovered in Android stalkerware. If you thought that social media knows everything about you, you were right. However, today I will tell you that there are apps that know even more. Would you like to know more? Have you ever been feeling like spied upon? Have you ever encountered strange behavior of a smartphone? Have you ever had a feeling that you know that somebody knows, but you don't know how they know? They might know because they installed stalkerware software in your smartphone. So, what is stalkerware? Simply put, it's a spying app. Stalker needs to have physical access to device, install the application, allow all the necessary permissions, and based on these permissions, we can tell what are the capabilities of the software. Afterwards, stalkerware is hidden from the victim's view and it might impersonate system applications such as settings. Where these apps could be downloaded from. Besides shady websites, apparently they were available even on Google Play Store, imposing as a kit or employee spies, resulting in fact that it wasn't that difficult to install them whatsoever. Precisely, 8 apps found on Play Store were installed over 140,000 times. So the number speaks for itself. Based on our data from our Android client devices, as you can see in the slides now, these apps have become more and more popular in the last couple of years. In 2019, we detected 5 times more installs as in the previous year. Last year, detection increased up to 48%. We see the popularity is still on the rise. So, how can we make sure no one is looking over our shoulder? This problem has been discussed, and luckily for us, it has been solved. How? By using manual or static analysis, using trustworthy security software that detects, informs, and removes our uninvited guest. However, its enormous popularity made us wonder and worry about one more problem. Who else might be watching? Since stalkerware gathers more private data about their victims than any other app you have installed in your smartphone right now. And I'm talking about the privacy and security of victim information that might be at risk, since such software can access almost all the sensitive user data. When we picked one of the most popular social media applications and its permissions to compare with stalkerware, it is important to say that when social media requests a permission, there's option to allow the permission either one time or during using the application. Contrary, stalkerware, in order to work properly, all the permissions needs to be checked. As a result, the stalker has full access all the time. Let's take a look. The phone on the right belongs to the attacker. The attacker is not a stalker. It's a person that misuses security issues found in stalkerware. Victim and stalker are not aware of the attacker or these actions. The phone on the left belongs to victim. The attacker sends text message to victim. The victim receives a text message. Text message is then processed by stalkerware and it would trigger a phone call back to the attacker, instantly opening microphone spying opportunities without the victim knowledge. Please pay attention to upcoming slides where we will deep dive and share with you our research. We'll focus on security issues discovered in these apps and then we will close all that with responsible disclosure to affected vendors. First thing first, question is might be question where from we gather the applications. The first one is from GitHub, stalker indicators of compromise. At that time, there was around 40 stalkerware apps. Then the list of the top most popular detected stalkerware on our side. Paid advertisement, PR articles, top Google search, Because of that, we gathered information about 86 mobile stalkerware vendors. Mobile stalkerware is divided into two main platforms. We focused only on Android, and the reason is simple: the market share and the easiness of site loading apps on Android. Comparing to iOS device, when Stalker wants to install Stalkerware on iOS device, the device needs to be either jailbroken or he needs to already have iCloud credentials. And there's one more reason why we focus on Android. From all the analyzed vendors, all of them provided solution for Android, but only 37% for iOS as well. So what we did, what was our plan? It was to analyze 86 Android stalkerware vendors, which were represented by 86 different Android stalkerware apps. We went through manual, static, and dynamic analysis to observe its behavior capabilities. Also, we would like to state the fact that this was not a full penetration test. We focus on privacy and security issues with actual impact on their clients, victims, or company. However, the matter is really serious. There were some limitations. I would like to go through them first because we haven't paid for any of the software. We didn't want to support them. We were limited by the provided functionality of apps and the full accessibility of admin panel that is responsible for sending commands, receiving data, storing them. Still, we were able to fully test statically and dynamically 72 apps. 14 were limited to static analysis only. What were our findings, our results from 86 apps? We found security issues with serious impact in 67% of them. 33% were without serious security or privacy issue discovered. Altogether, we identified 158 exploitable issues in these apps. Now let's jump into particular problems. Again, even because of the limitations, we were able to find 158 problems. There were different ones, such as leak on the network of the personal information of the victim, on the smartphone, leak on the server, possibility to frame a victim, remotely control smartphone through text message, open directory leaks, possibility to take over account, live stream from smartphone without any authentication, and others. I prepared 2 more video demonstrations. I will go through them briefly. Now let's go through the most serious issues discovered. Let's start with HTTP leak. What is this all about? 22 stalkerware apps use an unsecure HTTP protocol without additional encryption of the data to communicate with the admin panel. And let me explain that. When stalker first time installs stalkerware in the victim's smartphone, he needs to either create an account or log in. And for that, stalkerware used the HTTP protocol. Because of that, the attacker on the same network using man-in-the-middle attack could intercept the communication and steal the credentials. Because of that, could access the admin panel of the stalker to remotely control smartphone of the victim. Besides credentials, stalkerware could also download additional binaries or modules or updates of themselves, which are binary files executed by stalkerware. Again, attacker on the same network could replace these binaries for the malicious one and trigger remote code execution. For these binaries, there was no integrity check. The most common issue was leak on the network of all the extracted data from smartphones, such as text messages, phone call logs, gallery, screenshots, camera, phone call recordings, etc. These were leaks on the network. Now we'll move to the leaks on the smartphone. Leak of the personally identifiable information of the victim. What is this about? When stalkerware processes all the commands from the server, it needs to store the data somewhere. Many of the stalkerware apps would store these data on external shared media where other apps installed on a smartphone with a read-write storage permission for Android below 10 could access these files without additional permission or any other permission. In one case, stalkerware would store admin token on the shared media, and because of that, any third-party app could steal the token, access admin panel, and then control smartphone of the victim. Some of the stalkerwares provided keylogger functionality, meaning they could log all user input from all apps. These keylogs were not protected and accessible to other applications. And they could log sensitive information from other applications such as PayPal, financial banking applications, including the passwords. Result, a takeover is possible to take over other accounts of the user, not just stalkerware. Most frequently seen device leak was unprotectedly storing extracting data, such as recording phone calls, taking photos, screenshots, and in some cases, in some apps, also calendar events, browsing history, contact list, phone number, and received text messages. From the leak on the network through leak on the device, let's move to the leak on the server. User data leaks through open directories. There were available data such as victims' photos, recorded calls, details about them such as names, physical addresses, text messages, social media messages, email addresses. These data were accessible without any authentication for anyone. During analysis, we discovered and tested that manipulating with victims' data wasn't a problem at all. Many apps use for pairing device and the server account unique device ID, such as email number or Android ID, instead of using server-generated token. However, these device IDs are easily obtainable by other apps installed on a smartphone. There are two impacts or two malicious cases. The first one, if stalkerware uses HTTP protocol to communicate with the server, it's possible for the attacker on the same network to forge data being uploaded from smartphone to server, such as text messages to create custom one, text messages, photos, to frame a person, to make her life a little bit more difficult or even blackmail her. Second case scenario of the impact is third-party apps could get the device IDs and then based on the IDs upload custom fabricated data to server on behalf of the victim. In case there is no internet connection, some of the apps provided ability to receive SMS commands. However, not all of them verify if commands are received from stalker, and because of that, or someone else, and because of that, anyone could remotely control victim's device by sending text message. But there are two things necessary. The first one are commands for the attacker to know. These are available on the website of the stalkerware. The second is a phone number of the victim. For that, either attacker already knows the phone number of the victim or it can be extracted by a third-party application. I prepared a video demonstration. The phone on the right belongs to the attacker, phone on the left belongs to victim. The attacker sends text message to victim. The victim receives text message, stalkerware would process that, and it would trigger sharing exact the GPS location back to the attacker or to whoever sent a text message. Of course, GPS needs to be enabled on the victim's smartphone. Let's continue with ability to start arbitrary components. Because of unprotected exported components defined in Android manifest, it is possible to trigger restricted stalkerware functionality. As a result, any application installed on a device could, through stalkerware app, without proper permission or any other permission, take pictures, record calls, record surrounding audio, take screenshots, wipe data, enable, disable GPS, reboot smartphone, etc. And afterwards access these data since they are stored on external, again, shared media. What happens when spying ends? This. This is a photo taken by a stalkerware of my ceiling while it was lying next to me. Unfortunately, it is still stored and accessible on the server, even though the stalker, in this case me, removes data logs on the link's smartphone and removes full account. Besides, my photos are on the server still stored by text messages and my call logs. In other cases of stalkerware, data are not removed immediately when requested by stalker, but rather it takes 90 extra days to be deleted. Let's continue with hard-coded secrets. This is not about the token or password as you might expect, rather just server links that are responsible to trigger live stream from particular device where stalkerware is installed. What's this about? In app, there are hard-coded links, 3 links, that could through server trigger live stream from particular device. The only thing that is necessary is device ID. However, these device IDs are stored on external shared media by stalkerware, and because of that, they are accessible to other apps installed on a smartphone with a read-write storage permission. I prepared a video demonstration for that, where on the left side we have smartphone of the victim, where the stalkerware is already installed, and then we have 3 windows. The top one is our notepad that contains 3 links with appended device ID that were found in application, browser, and the VLC, where we now tried to watch a stream. However, this is not accessible right now. First thing we need to do is to make 2 GET requests to server, and if the server returns true, it means that it would enable a live stream from a smartphone without any authentication to whoever requests them. Victim can't see anything happening on the smartphone. So these were the most prevalent security issues discovered in the stalkerware apps. After we identified them, we reported them to affected vendors. We follow 90-day disclosure practice by contacting affected vendor up to 3 times. We contacted the stalker vendors through either email or creating a support ticket through their websites. In 2 cases, we could not reach the vendor. What are the results of the fixing issues? From all the affected vendors, 10% of them fixed the issues within a 90-day disclosure period. 12% of the vendors replied back to our request and promised us to fix them, but the patch was not delivered within 90 days. 78% of the affected vendors did not reply back or fix the problem. Because of that, we decided not to publish a full list of the vendors, the applications, and connect them with particular problem security vulnerabilities. Now, before summary, let's go quickly through a compromise scenario and a couple of prevention tips. So when a stalker wants to install stalkerware in a victim's smartphone, he needs to have physical access to the device, which means he needs to know a PIN or pattern to unlock a device, and then install sideload the application, allow all the necessary permissions, and then stalkerware is hidden from the victim's view. What the victim can do before that to prevent that happening: make sure to have enabled lock screen, either use PIN, password, or a pattern. And if you believe someone knows your PIN or got access to your device, make sure to download, install, and then scan your smartphone with a trustworthy security software that will automatically detect stalkerware and gives option to remove it. Compromise sign. So these might tell if you have installed stalkerware in your device. There is a higher battery drains faster, since there's a lot of communication on the smartphone and a lot of tasks being done. Higher internet consumption. Again, There is communication being done between the server and the smartphone. GPS, Wi-Fi, or mobile data might be enabled or disabled by itself without user interaction. There might be a suspicious persistent notification, a notification bar. Most of the time is invisible, but there is something there. You will notice that. Photos, screenshots, audio recordings stored in your smartphone, even though they were not done by the user. And there might be, or you might have received questionable text messages, which means they might be a SMS commands sent from the admin. So to summarize, number of used detected based on our data of Android stalkerware has been increasing in the last couple of years. Stalkerware apps gather, store, transfer, transmit a lot of personal information of the victim. Many of them have security issues, and as you saw, we discovered 158 of them. Unfortunately, their vendors don't really care about fixing them, since something about 78% did not even reply back not to fix them. We would like to appeal to anyone who might be thinking of using such software to reconsider that. Using stalkerware to spy on your spouses, it's not just unethical, but it also reveals private and intimate information about them, but also about those who install it and want to spy on their close ones. Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy more talks to come.